Okay, welcome everyone to this September 2018 TDL Member Forum. We're glad you're here and have joined us today to hear some updates about the work that TDL has been doing over the past month. My name is Christy Park. I'm the Executive Director of Texas Digital Library, and I'm joined by a couple of our usual suspects, Leah DeForest, our Communication Strategist, and Courtney Muma, Deputy Director of the Texas Digital Library. A couple of reminders as we start the meeting today. If you have questions, of course, you can always ask them in the chat window that's there in the Adobe Connect meeting room. We hope you will ask those questions at any time, and we'll take a moment and pause to answer them as we have an appropriate moment. You also have the slides that we're showing you available for download in the Files pod in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. And as I mentioned, we will be recording this meeting, so you'll be able to view it and access it from the TDL YouTube channel later on. We have a familiar looking agenda today. I'll start out with some director updates, and then Courtney will follow up with some other information about work that's going on in various areas of our organization and the larger digital preservation community in particular. Leah will wrap up with some community updates about things going on, events and other things going on in our community. And then we'll have time for questions. Okay, so just to get us started here, I wanted to start with an update on work that we've been doing related to DSpace. As you know, as we talked about last time, we have begun upgrades of all of our hosted DSpace repositories to version 6. That started at the end of August, and we are more than halfway through at this point with those upgrades. We've upgraded 9 repositories, not counting the TDL institutional repository in our training DSpace. And we've got, I think, 8 to go from here on out. So we've been doing roughly 1 a day of those over the last month, and it's been going well. Nick Woodward, Nick Lowland, and Clark Kim from our tech team have all been working on this project and doing a great job keeping us on schedule for the most part on getting those things done. If you have any questions on this project, or if you've encountered any issues with your repository post-upgrade, please don't hesitate to be in contact with us through the help desk, support@tdl.org. If you are curious about when your repository is going to be updated, you can go to our Confluence wiki. There's a link here on this site, and there is documentation about what's happening and what the schedule is for upgrades for each of our member repositories. So please review that information, and again, if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to ask. I also, related to DSpace, just want to thank again the DSpace Education Working Group for all of the work they've been doing, most recently to create DSpace documentation and digital repositories documentation for self-help in DSpace, which is also available in the digital repositories section of our Confluence wiki, and the link again is there. That is so helpful for us to have and to build on as we move forward with our DSpace hosting service. Thank you also to all of those who joined the kickoff of our DSpace users group last month, which is chaired by Ed Warga from Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Our next meeting is set for Tuesday, September 25th, and we will have recurring monthly meetings for that group on the 4th Tuesday of each month from 10 to 11 a.m. If you're interested in getting involved here, you can email our general email box at info@tdl.org. I did want to just remind everybody that anybody can join this users group regardless of their affiliation with TDL. We really just want to create a community and an informal space for folks who are using DSpace and managing repositories in DSpace to talk to each other and share knowledge and organize themselves and their own activities in the best way possible. There is no commitment to do work as part of this users group beyond being on the email list and attending meetings when you are able to. It's not a working group per se, although the group may decide there's work to be done and work with us to set up a working group out of that. So if you have any questions about it, again, always email. You can email me, you can email Leah, or you can email info@tdl.org, and we will get it and hopefully get an answer to you. A quick note about the Digital Preservation Network and some work that's going on there. As a reminder, DPN is a nationwide distributed digital preservation network that TDL is a part of. We operate a node of this network here in Texas. And we are participating this fall in a strategic planning process that DPN has undertaken to determine its future over the next 1 to 2 years. As part of that process, the node managers from the 4 different operating nodes met in Denver last week for the first stage of that planning process, and Courtney and I attended that meeting. It was very productive. That process will continue with board level meetings in September and October, so we'll likely have more information to come once this strategic planning process has concluded towards the end of the fall and into the new year. TDL staff also got together to do some strategic planning of our own at the staff level a couple weeks ago here in Austin. We call this staff retreat our TDL reboot. This is the second year that we've done this, and it's an opportunity for our what is now distributed team to be together in person and do some planning for the year and talk about team culture and other issues of interest to our staff. We talked about our team goals and proposed focus over the next year, and some of this we will be sharing in a couple weeks, actually next week, at our TDL Member Board meeting. This is a photo of most of our board members from last year. We're missing a couple. But we meet with the full member board, which is all the deans and directors from all of our member institutions, every year at the Texas Council of Academic Libraries meeting, which is held in Austin, usually in September. We always hold our member board meeting there, and we share with the deans and directors of our member institutions what we've accomplished over the last year and what we're looking to do in the next year. So as we move towards this meeting, we're preparing those plans, and we'll share them with you. I think we'll be able to do that at the next TDL Forum. Okay. We also have a governing board meeting that's scheduled for October 12th in Austin in the Perry Castaneda Library. The governing board, just as a reminder, is a subset of our member board that assists us with strategic direction and planning. And we have just concluded elections for an open seat on that board. And I'm very pleased to say that Kelly Gonzalez, the library director at the UT Southwestern Medical Library, will be serving another full term on the governing board representing UT Southwestern. Okay, I think that is it for me, and I'm going to turn it over to Courtney to take us through some additional updates. Courtney?
Thanks, Christy. Hi, everybody. Okay, so I just have a few updates today, so I'm going to dive right in. The first thing I want to tell you all about, and this is the first we're letting the full membership know, the TDR Steering Committee has been working towards gathering guests who host their own dataverses throughout the US and abroad. And other experts in research data curation. We've been reaching out to them for a series of Webinars on the Texas Data Repository. They'll probably be around a half hour, so we're asking folks to come and talk to us for 15 to 20 minutes and then allow for time for Q&A. We're going to start this in November and continue into the spring. I'm working with Matthew McInerney, who's the chair of the TDR Steering Committee from Texas Tech, and Laura Waugh, who is the vice chair of the TDR Steering Committee from Texas State University. So what we're doing is trying to solidify these dates, and so very soon we're going to get all the sign-up information out and have all of the dates arranged. But just so you can kind of get it in your mind and expect it coming soon, those will be starting in November and going through either April or May. Another update about the Texas Data Repository is that I will be presenting this poster called TDR Collaboration, at the Texas Advanced Computing Center's Taxter Symposium for Texas Research tomorrow and Friday. Jessica Tree Logan will be there with me, and she will also, from UT Austin, and she will also assist me in personing a table and presenting information about the Texas Data Repository to researchers who are coming to TAC from all over Texas. And so this poster really just illustrates the Texas Digital Library and how it relates to the Texas Data Repository that we've created, how the steering committee collaborates to do the work of the Texas Data Repository, to impact their own institutions, and then how we both interact from TDL and from the TDR Steering Committee with that global community, the Global Dataverse Consortium that's just recently been formed, which we were the first members of. So this will be, again, this Thursday and Friday, and I'll report back about it next month during the forum and give some information about how it went. I also just attended last week my very first U.S. Electronic Theses and Dissertations Association conference in Denver, Colorado. So I had the opportunity not just to attend, but I got to give an overview of the TDL consortium and also an overview of the history and the ongoing development of Vireo at John Hagan's Popular ETDs for Beginners workshop. Christy Park has done that in the past, and so I have taken over doing that as of this year. It was a great workshop and I was really proud to be included. Then Stephanie Larison led the Vireo user group meeting, where I also gave an update about our new developer, Frank Smutniak, for Vireo and the upcoming community sprints for Vireo in October, which are going to be October 1st through 12th. Renee Babcock from UT Austin grad school was also there representing Texas ETDA. And just a little bit of information about those Vireo community sprints that I just mentioned. So this is the first time we're doing this with Vireo. We're calling for volunteers at all skill levels. So if you're working with Vireo and you can set aside, you don't have to set aside the whole 2 weeks, but any period of time during those 2 weeks that maybe you can set aside and help us out with documentation, or if you have developers who can contribute to the project, or even just testing of any of the work that we're doing during the sprint, we would love to have you be a part of this. It's a really good opportunity to learn about open source communities and open source software development and how that works. We'll have helpers available in lots of different arenas. We'll have availability of web conferencing, and we'll have a Slack chat channel where we'll have what we're calling sprint coaches available to help especially developers out. We're working on creating documentation for this right now. We've got kind of basics right now on the site, and you can also sign up at tdl.org for this, and you'll see some information about it. But we'll keep adding to this information over the next couple of weeks. In fact, tomorrow we have a planning meeting with the Vireo User Group Steering Committee where we'll hopefully iron out some more details about this and be able to share that with you. We're very excited about it, and we're hoping this is the first of many community sprints with Vireo. Another update I wanted to give you, as many of you know, I've been on the steering committee for the Preservation and Archiving Special Interest Group, or PASIG conference, over the last 3 or 4 years, and I've been on multiple program committees for this conference as well. It's a wonderful conference, and the one coming up in February is in Mexico City, so really close to us here in Texas, and probably a lot of content relevant to our interests regionally. So I encourage y'all to keep following. We're about to have the schedule up in the coming weeks, and we're inviting speakers right now. It's the first bilingual PASIG, so some sessions will be in Spanish, some will be in English, and we'll have interpreters available, translators at every session. So I'm really excited about it. Let me know if you have any questions about it, and I'll hope to fill you in. I've been involved with this conference for a while, but I encourage you to attend if you're able. I'll be there. An update as well about our Archivematica Camp, Texas, which is at the University of Houston, graciously hosting us from November 14th through 16th. The registration is now open. Anyone who's not a member of TDL will pay $450, but remember that all TDL members will receive that early bird rate of $400 at any time. So please do have a look. And again, if you have any questions about it, please let us know. We've got information on our website. We've also got a wiki that we've set up with Artifactual that has the specific schedule for the day and information about things like dine-arounds and that kind of thing. So we're really excited. It's going to be a really fun event, and I hope to see you there. And again, ask me any questions you might have about it. And now I'm going to hand over to Leah for her community update.
Thanks, Courtney, and good morning, everyone. So let me get to this slide. First off, we want to say thank you again to everyone who attended last month's Digital Preservation Management Workshop at Trinity University in San Antonio. The workshop helped TDL members like Kristen Weichedel at UT's Rio Grande Valley how to translate vague policies into actionable steps. Kristen told us that she will initiate her first digital preservation project with this Leonard Greenwalt collection, and you're seeing an image from the collection on the slide now. This is a digital collection of photos from the concentration camp in Dachau in April 1945. They were taken by an American GI and donated to UTRGV by Leonard Greenwalt. Kristen's team is really eager to preserve these photographs because they're so rare and of unique global significance. And any of you with these kinds of collections are familiar with this kind of drive to get these things preserved. And this small collection is comprised of just 12 images. They were all taken in the same place and by the same person in the same time frame, similar scenery. So preparing the metadata for preservation will be much less complicated with such a small collection. And this will be a great way for Kristen to learn while doing, take some of these lessons back from the workshop, and begin the process of digital preservation at her institution. You can read more about her experience and her take on the workshop on our blog at tdl.org. And then stay tuned for a future story featuring another DPMW participant, Daryl Stir from Baylor University. Hey, congratulations, Santee. So we want to say congratulations to our member, Santee Thompson, who was named a DLF Future Fellow for 2018-19. Santee is head of Digital Research Services at the University of Houston Libraries, where he develops policies and workflows for the digital components of scholarly communications. And so the DLF named 3 distinguished fellows in the pilot year of a new DLF Future Fellowship program. And the program will offer financial support and a communications platform for mid-career digital library practitioners whose projects and areas of research open up new and perhaps unexpected possibilities and future directions for the field. Santee plans to use fellowship resources to continue researching and presenting on the reuse of digital library content, building on the success of the DLF AIG's recent IMLS grant, which was called Developing a Framework for Measuring Reuse of Digital Objects, for which Santee served as PI. This is a big deal in our world. I know we all think a lot of Santee and just want to say congratulations here. Coming up soon, the annual DLF Forum and NDSA Digital Preservation Conference is coming up in October. Christy Park will be presenting on distributed digital preservation at the Digital Preservation Conference on Thursday, October 18th. If you happen to be there, please do attend and stop and say hi to Christy. And as we've mentioned earlier, TDL is proud to sponsor this year's Austin Archives Bazaar. This is a free event that's becoming an Austin tradition where you can discover photographs, documents, films, maps, video games, and more held in the incredible archival collections in Austin. And please let us know if you plan to attend because we would love to see you there and view the exhibits with you. And finally, please save the date for TCDL 2019. Dates will be May 20th through 23rd, 2019, same place, Commons Learning Center in Austin. Registration will open sometime in October, so be on the lookout for our links soon. And just want to say many thanks to my colleague Lauren McCulloch and to our TCDL committee members for doing such an outstanding job kicking off this year's conference planning. And back to Christy.
Awesome. Thanks, Leah and Courtney. So we just flew through a whole bunch of content and news in the last 20 minutes or so. We do have some time left for questions. So does anybody have any questions or announcements or things to share? Because we've got some time. I want to say an extra thank you to the TCDL Conference Planning Committee, which has gotten underway and is a great group led by Clark Yakovakis, formerly of UHCL, now at Oklahoma State. And they are doing a bang-up job getting program ideas together and thinking about the conference for next year. So we're excited about that. Hope you've got it on your calendars. Last chance for questions. Okay, well, it sounds like everything was crystal clear. We are so glad that you joined us today and hope that the start of the new academic year has been going smoothly for everybody. We will see you same time, same place in October, and we'll be in touch with you in the meantime. Thanks, everybody.